Hello and welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show. We're here to give our instant match reaction to Brentford 1, Leeds United 1 with myself, Stephen Brown, and joining me to dissect everything from today's game. It is, of course, Jason Booker. Welcome along, Jason. Guys, if you watch along, get your comments in, get your likes on the video and get subscribed to the channel as well. Well, Jason, I mean, I'm kind of walking away from an away game thinking, I mean, a point was a minimum from that game. Looking back at it today, I thought we were well worthy if we'd have managed to get another goal at the end. I was really urging us on at the end. I thought there was still something there for us, possibly to get a winner there. A terrific away performance, kind of the ideal away performance against an opponent whose home record is ridiculous. It's like third in the league or something, absolutely ridiculous. And we've reduced them practically next to nothing today. So I think it's really positive all round, isn't it? And like I say, really, we were worthy of 3 points, I think.
We won, mate. It's funny because usually I wouldn't be coming away from this result feeling disappointed. And I do kind of feel disappointed. I think we built into the game brilliantly. We defended excellently. We set up in a way that really stifled and nullified what Brentford are good at. I thought we made them look really poor, and I don't think that they were great individually on the day as well, but I do think a lot of that came from us. Yeah. The 5-3-2 worked nicely again. We managed to get Okafor in and around Calvert-Lewin more often. I thought Calvert-Lewin was brilliant again. I thought it was excellent. Not just the goal, but everything in the play. You saw a complete contrast of performances between him and Thiago. Thiago didn't get a sniff against our centre-backs, and Calvert-Lewin caused them.
He just fell over, didn't he, all the time? Thiago's only plan was just falling over on the floor. That was his only route, really.
Levels between them, mate. So, yeah, I kind of come away from this a little bit. I mean, for me, I'd have taken a point at kickoff. Absolutely no doubt about it. I can't help but feel like it was a missed opportunity to take all three. I think the score against the run of play, and it obviously gives them a cushion within that game to get a point that they don't deserve. I truly believe if we don't concede the goal, I think we go on and win the game. It's not just as easy as to say, well, yeah, of course we would have done because we scored one and they scored none. Then no, because the game would have played out a little bit differently. But I do believe that we'd have got a chance going into the last stages in that game, which would have seen us win that game in the way that it was going. So really, really impressed, really, really proud of the lads, the management. Again, there's so much out of possession work that this team does that's drilled on the training pitch that fans will just obliviously kind of gloss over and not even see. And we're very, very good out of possession. Very, very good, actually. To the point now where we're looking so much more comfortable not having the ball. I actually prefer us when I see the statistics side of things. We've got 25%, 30%. I think we're in the better place when that's the case. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. There's so much to kind of enjoy, I think, out of that performance. I just hope it doesn't come back to bite us on the ass, because we do need to pick up points when the game's there for us. And it kind of felt like one of them today, where we really probably should have another 2 points on the board. But a point away from home's always good.
It's one of those things that it's kind of... It sounds daft, but I prefer kind of coming away a little bit frustrated at not taking all 3 points compared to kind of what the Forest and kind of, Burnley games, where it's just you've not played well, you're never really in it, and, you've lost. I think at least today we can come away and be kind of proud of the performance, and it shoots us off in a different direction. Sporting Journey, first half, reporting one sentence, hardly been a classic, but happy we haven't conceded. Yeah, I've heard a few kind of Leeds fans. I know a friend of the show, Tom Carnduff, on Twitter, was saying it, not a great game and stuff. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought... I agree. I was really into that for that. I never sat there thinking it was boring. I was just kind of on the edge of my seat waiting for Leeds to just get that breakthrough. I really felt like we were going to get the breakthrough, and it felt kind of out of nowhere. Suddenly Brentford scored. So I enjoyed it. I mean, I can imagine if you're not a supporter of either teams, fair enough, I get it. But as a Leeds fan, I was really happy with it today.
I don't agree with that really from a perspective. I thought there was some quality on show from us today, especially. You know, I watched the Sunderland Newcastle game earlier on in the day, and that was a stink fest. It really was. It was really, really poor. Neither team had a shot on target for that 70 minutes. I think
it was lowest XG, I think that.
Yeah.
Well,
like it's the goal comes from an own goal. You know what I mean? Like there were no quality on shot, but it weren't that. Like we set up with a game plan. We looked to break, and we did break with quality at times as well. A little bit more of a clinical edge, and I think we're going to the break at 2-0. Okafor has two really, really good chances, and then he has a third, which commentary made it out like it were a simple volley. I thought it were a little bit more difficult than the other two, but so, you know, that aside, we still created good chances, and we created other chances in the second half as well. So it didn't feel like it was a game that wasn't engaging. Maybe less so for a neutral that wants crash bang wallop, but there was so much like real quality intent. Again, out of possession of what we did to stifle them. Bear in mind, they had the fourth best record in the division at home. We made them look like relegation fodder at home. That's what it looked like today. For me, we were the better side. We were comfortably the better side over the 90 minutes. And I know at some point we'll get to the referee, but the referee tried to balance that out as much as possible. I mean, I would describing it in the group as being the worst refereeing performance I've seen in the Premier League. Like it was so bad. But anyway, we'll come to that in its own separate section at some point. It was really bad. But yeah, mate, we have to take the positive. You know, before kickoff, in the preview, me and you both said we would be happy seeing a really good away performance and actually losing the game. Now, you never want to lose a game. Context, you know, we don't travel very well. They're really good at home. You know, everything that comes on the back of all of that. We've got a point and we played well. So it has to be seen as a huge, huge positive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I want to come to some of the comments here as well. Skip, I'm more than happy with the point today. If we would have said we will get 5 points from City, Chelsea, Liverpool and Brentford away, I would have said you're insane. Credit goes to Farker and the squad. Gav, good point away. Subs on 5 minutes earlier, maybe. But then a great saving pass and cross by Willie. Yeah, it was something else, that wasn't it? Robbie, if we keep giving DCL quality crosses, he'll thrive. It depends on the service. I mean, let's just talk about DCL's goal because it's an absolute belter of a cross from Nonto. Fantastic cross, and God, you just bet your house on DCL in that position, don't you? But the way the leap, and you're doing it all game, the leap and how he hangs in the air. I mean, we talk about it every show, but I'm just so impressed by him, and I think that's 5 goals now, Jay. And it's kind of getting into like a bit of a special season, or it could develop into a bit of a special season for him that might even end up with a call to the World Cup. You never know, you know, if things work out for him, depending on what happens to other strikers. But he, again, like you mentioned, I thought he was, absolutely superb.
He won't score enough goals to keep us up, remember? One of our own said them exact words. And I mean, look, I joke, you know, the facts are is that his goal scoring record hasn't been great, but I think there's a big context and caveat to that is that he's been injury prone outside of last season for the 2 or 3 seasons before that, and it's continued in a bad form. And he's also been playing for one of the worst teams in the division over that period of time as well. You know, when he scored a lot of goals for Everton were a far better side, and over the last 3 seasons they've been terrible. So, you know, similar in ways to maybe the way that Leeds set up, not last season, but the season before. The Everton system kind of dictated that the striker wouldn't score a lot of goals. He was doing the build-up as well. So there's all sorts of things to that. But you can see Calvert-Lewin's quality. His problem in terms of scoring goals is his composure in front of goal in one-on-ones. But in the air, the lads... his technique and his talent is honestly next level good. I mean, that header today is a real quality header. Kelleher stands no chance. And for me, like, that is obviously massively important, but everything else that he does as well, like his link-up play is honestly exceptional. The way that he wins free kicks, his hold-up play, like, he covers ground as well. He covers a lot of ground across that front line. And he looks like he's starting to trust his body as well. You know, like it looks like he's starting to believe in himself again, get that confidence back. I think, I mean, again, it was always going to be a huge risk with the 2 boys up front for free transfers, but with what we've received out of 16 games so far from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or however many it's been after he first came into the side, we couldn't have signed a player anywhere near his quality for less than 35 million.
Yeah.
You're talking about that next bracket of strikers. We've had to go and take the risk on his injury record and back ourselves with the medical team to get him fit week in, week out, to be able to get that level of quality. He's literally that good, but the question mark is keeping him fit.
Yeah, 100%. The 3-5-2, Jay, we went with that again, or 5-4-1. It turns into whatever you want to kind of 5-3-2.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, that were the question mark. Would Farke maybe revert after a second half where we kind of went back to an older formation, but he stuck with it. Why, in your kind of impression, does it work so well compared to maybe what we were doing away from home? Why did it kind of? Because for me, I think you said it in the group, we looked so comfortable in that setup.
I think there's a few things. I don't think it's just as easy as kind of narrowing it to one thing. There's a big kind of pin in it as well, in that I think it dictates that we then need to go more direct.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the season, even in the 4-2-3-1, we were playing more direct and we were getting more success. We're better without the ball, as we were kind of saying earlier. So sometimes when we turn the ball over, but because we're going to Calvert-Lewin and then we're getting players in and around and we can play there then. But when we're trying to play through the lines and play out of the back, we get caught out because we don't have the quality. So, and thankfully Farke's kind of, again, picked up on that, I think. I think there definitely is a system change within the formation change too.
Yeah.
But to kind of answer your question directly to the formation, there's a few things. It allows some of our better players to really play within express themselves within that role. So I think you see a better version of Anton Stack, and I think you see arguably our best player when Anton Stack's in the 5-3-2 from what we've seen so far. He can really pick up the ball in them channels where he can just run and just really stretch his legs. He seems to be able to marshal defensively better in this system as well, because players are funneled into different directions. So because there's 3 centre-backs behind the midfield rather than only 2, they've not got the same spaces to work within. It is a real kind of interesting one to see it all unfolding. I think you're seeing the best of Jacobiol, obviously. It then limits our weaknesses more. So the likes of Pascal Struijk get covered up a little bit more because he's having less to do. He's got more reassurances around him. Gabby and Jayden both can have more defensive cover because they're not great defensively, neither of them. Jayden, I think, is particularly capable, but I think Gabby can struggle defensively. But he had a really good game today defensively, however. So yeah, I just think it complements everything, and I think then you look at the attacking side of this as well. It plays into Calvert-Lewin's biggest strengths.
Yeah,
doesn't it? In that he wants to hold up the ball, he wants to get into a tussle with the centre backs, he wants to be able to play with his back to goal. He don't really want to have to run on beyond and play parts of tricky, intricate kind of build-up play. So yeah, I just think it really suits. It suits Perry being able to just go long instead of having to pass it out constantly. So yeah, I just think it suits the system, it suits the players, and it gets the best out of our better players. That's the biggest thing for me. The likes of, I say, Stack, Calvert-Lewin, Ampadu. I think Ampadu looks more comfortable in this as well, playing as a midfield 3 rather than him being the DM and the 2 in front.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's some great examples of it. And I felt like today, Jay, kind of the only way Brentford were going to get a sniff past us really was kind of a bit of luck or a mistake, a self-inflicted mistake. And I mean, you look at the chance they had, the one big chance they had in the first half was a mistake by us. It was, a really poor pass from Struijk. And look, we've got so many positives today. I do want to touch on just this whilst it's kind of fresh in my mind before I forget, though. I thought particularly Tanaka and Struijk looked at times very error-prone. And there were a few. Struijk does that thing, we mentioned this last season, where he does this thing where ball comes to him and he kind of, it's not a miscontrol, but it's like a loose control. And it kind of goes past his foot, and then he has to reach out to get it under control again. He does it time and time again. I feel like when he's up against it, usually away from home, or if he's being pressed, it really starts to come to the fore. And I thought he had a few dopey moments today. I thought Tanaka as well didn't have the control that we'd seen in previous games. I thought he was a bit loose, and I really felt like the only way Brentford were going to get anything today was actually us shooting ourselves in the foot. I don't know if you had that same feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, we never felt that threatened, did we? And it did feel like it were either going to be a moment of quality or a little bit of luck. They didn't show too much quality. I think the pass from Damsgaard is a corker, and that is again a bit of one of them players that we just don't have. He's a bit like a Pablo, isn't he? You know, he can pick them passes, that one pass, and then they get a bit of luck as well. You know, the combination of the ball ricocheting to Jordan Henderson in the way that it does. Is it going to go in? I'm not sure before Biol touches it. I think it probably is going to just hit the post and maybe go in, but you don't. You know what I mean? It's just one of them. And we were talking back and forward in the group, like, we don't seem to get them moments for whatever reason. I don't think we've had one all season. It's 16 games in and it doesn't feel like we've had any sort of like kind of bounce or rub of the green kind of go in our direction. So I suppose Chelsea made a big mistake, didn't they, at 2-1. But that's not luck. That's an error. You know what I mean? Anyway. It did feel like that. It really felt like that. Struijk and Tanaka specifically. I thought Tanaka had a poor game today, if I'm honest. I thought he was one of the more popular. It felt like he was chasing the ball a lot. He was chasing the game and he was second to the positions and then he was dawdling in possession at times. His passing was sloppy at times as well. But he's got that in his makeup. I think, you know, hark back to the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about where his development is going to be. You know, the goal that we conceded in the last minute against City as an example. He's going to have ups and downs because he's a player that's not even, like, he's not young, really. He's probably in and around his prime. Yeah. And he's stepping up to this kind of level of football for the first time in his whole career. So he's going to have moments where we're like, he could have done better there. So you can't be too harsh. And Pascal, I mean, I'm never going to completely change my opinion on Pascal because it won't happen. Like he won't ever show the capabilities that my opinion should fully change because he is what he is. He makes mistakes. He's a bit of a calamity. He chases after the ball too much. He switches off. But in a 3-back, he can switch off and get away with it more. And it also leaves less likelihood that he will be caught out because somebody will be mopping him up. So, you know, again, that kind of then helps us deal with our deficiencies in the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2. So, he's just a funny player, is Pascal. He always will be to me.
Yeah, I think you can really see the level between him and Bijol as well. Because I feel like when I'm, you know, in this 3, when I'm watching Bijol in possession of the ball, or when he's, you know, you can see the cogs in his head turning about the decision to make. It all feels very succinct. It all feels very calm, and he knows what he's doing. With Pascal, sometimes it's almost like you can see the head loss in real time. You kind of, you know, you just see that panicking. I don't want to be too harsh on him. I don't think it was a terrible performance or anything like that. It's just Pascalisms, isn't it? Really, it's what what he's like, isn't it? Really, and I think. Sorry, go mate.
I was just going to say, I do think it's an interesting debate now that we've seen a spectrum of games that like, can Yaka play in a back 4 alongside Joe Rodon as effectively as Pascal Struijk? I think there's a debate to be had there because of the turn of pace. And at the Premier League, I don't know whether Biol's got the recovery pace. Pascal's not rapid, but he's quicker. So it's a weird one. He's relying so much on his game awareness and his positional stuff. I still prefer Biol overall, but I do understand why you would maybe be in the realms of starting Pascal over Biol in a back 2.
Is that why Varkas seems his kind of go-to thing is Bijol getting removed and then pass? And just, I guess, that left-sided distribution as well, isn't it?
I think it's more that. In the stages of the game that we've seen it, I think it's because we've been chasing the game and it makes more sense to have the left-footed centre-back in that area of the pitch, just for distribution. I think Biol's distribution is actually very good, but I think, obviously, once you're on that side of the pitch, you need to be passing the ball with your left foot most of the time. So, yeah, I think that's what it is more than there's a distinct difference between the two. But in a back 3, I think Biol is literally brilliant. I love watching him. He's so cool and composed, reads the game extremely well. And you can just tell that he's marshalling both sides. And weirdly, like Joe Rodon's now developed this new position within this back three where, again, we can't say that Daniel Farke's completely pragmatic. He's got Joe Rodon playing at right wing.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rodon, literally, especially
he was like right up there, wasn't he? Yeah. The ball at right wing at the point.
He's still trying to create the overload, so he's trying to create something different by getting another body to be advancing through the lines, and that's not a manager that's not prepared to go for it. You know what I mean? You don't get a centre back up front otherwise, do you? So, I think the 5-3-2 offers us loads. I just worry about the depth within it. Yeah. But, you asked me, and I know I'm kind of skipping over a few pages here, but you asked me during the game, would you make any changes? And I seen somebody mention a few minutes ago about the subs should have come 5 minutes earlier or whatever. I completely disagree. And I disagreed with that kind of notion at the time, because when we conceded, we were well on top in the game. It weren't like a change. Actually, I'm going to say it weren't like a change the game, but it did, because Damsgaard was the player that made. But that's an individual quality thing. It's not a change to system. The problem is that if we change personnel between the 3-5-2, the game doesn't change, because you haven't got anybody on that can really play them profiles. We're already making round eggs fitting round square pegs round holes, aren't we, again, with the likes of Okafor playing in the system. You saw it when we've made the change. We have to change formation, and I'm not a big fan of that, and that is a real problem for us. We're looking at the bench to change that game, but staying within the 3-5-2, what do we do?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's we don't have those backup options, do we? Don't have it like for likes, do we? Let's have a look here. Mark, hi lads, good point today. Hi Mark, welcome along. Kev, good point in London. Absolutely, indeed, stops the rot on that front, doesn't it? Noah Okafor, Jay, and he's someone I've kind of had my question marks about, and I think today was a good day for Noah Okafor. I thought even when he switched to left wing and you saw he was causing all sorts of issues, and he had that turn of pace, he was making things happen. I thought in that he's not going to do what Mecha does, and Mecha would absolutely still be my number one pick for that kind of second striker role with Calvert-Lewin. But I thought what Okafor did well today was he kind of made those moments his way. So he got the ball, he was running at people, making things happen. He kind of made that role into his own. It wasn't, barging into the defender and winning second balls and pressing. It was like he made it his way, which I thought was good. And he has got quality. I mean, it's like I said on the Thursday show, I wish we'd see a bit more from him. But I thought today, our best moments, our most creative moments, first half certainly were all through Noah Okafor, and he's probably unlucky that he hasn't got a goal or a assist today.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought what he did really well today was he was alert, he was smart. He was fishing in and around Calvert-Lewin for them touches, and he was alive to opportunities. That first chance that came actually from a Brentford kind of back pass. It was put towards the Brentford goalkeeper from a Brentford player, and he was onto it quickly, and he has got a turn of pace. He has got ability, there's no doubt about it. I struggle to kind of see him within a front two when you're needing that kind of effective press. But one thing that did really suit him today was the fact that the game was played at quite a slow pace. So he didn't gas out. It wasn't the case that he was struggling from a fatigue point of view. He made another 90 minutes again today, which is great. But it was the game allowed him to do that, I think. But, I mean, they caused them all sorts of problems first half, I thought, defensively. I mean, they looked so uncomfortable, and a lot of that came from Calvert-Lewin. But the movement of Okafor on the back of that was very good. And, yeah, he doesn't get a goal and assist today, but it isn't all about that. I agree with you. I thought he made it his own kind of version of what was that second striker up there today. So, yeah, long may it continue, mate, because, like I say, he has definitely got the quality. There were moments where he stood his full back up as well in the second half. Got to the byline. He has got that ability to be able to take a player on. We just need more of it. So yeah, hopefully them two can be vying. Calvert-Lewin's the number one, but then after that, Mecha and Okafor can fight for that position. I'd love to be proven wrong. Wrong by Okafor as that number 9.
Yeah, absolutely, same. Jizzy, thanks for your comment. Delighted with the point. Thought Stack and Ampadu very good today, as well as others. Yeah, Ampadu. I mean, Jay, we've been asking for Ethan Ampadu to kind of replicate his home form away from home. I thought he certainly did that today. I thought second half he really drove us on. I thought he was just everywhere and, collecting the ball, driving forward, tackles, getting involved. I thought he was absolutely superb today. And yeah, like the comment says, him and Stack, it was brilliant. And I thought they were both really at such a high level today.
I thought they were the difference in the game, them two. Ampadu and Stack really controlled the game, and I said to you during the first half, like, when Stack's playing well within this 5-3-2, it makes it tick. It feels like he's like the catalyst to everything that's good within it, especially going forward. When we then are attacking, it feels like it's driving it through him. I mean, he's so good at covering distance across the ground. He's rapid for a big lad, and he's big, strong, and he reads the game really well. Been really impressed with him since coming back from the concussion. Really, really impressed. He's been excellent. And Ampadu, we've been desperately needing him to lead from the front away from home, and he did that today. Again, I thought especially second half, he really, really led the team. It'd have been beautiful to see that rifle going, because he hit it sweetly, didn't he? But yeah, he was brilliant today, mate. Really, really good.
Yeah, I thought the keeper had saved it at first because she heard like a noise and it looked like it
was like a water bottle.
Yeah, water bottle, unfortunately, on that one. Just a mention on the wing backs, Gabby and Bogle. I mean, what a shift these two guys are putting in, the amount of kilometres these guys are racking up. I don't know how they do it. I mean, Bogle, for a portion of that second half, he was doing that thing again where he's like dribbling around players and every touch is coming off. He kind of got a bit slack towards the end. The last 10 minutes, he started to kind of gas out, I think, a little bit. But, I mean, both of them, I mean, you talk about Calvert-Lewin and how important he is to this, but, I mean, those two, I mean, Jesus, they're just invaluable, aren't they? I mean, Gabby, that engine he's got up and down. I mean, it's that run that he did. I don't know what minute, 80th minute or something. And he's like, starts off edge of Leeds box and he's all the way up at the Brentford box with the ball. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm just glad we are only playing one game a week, really, because Jesus, honestly, you don't know how they'd handle two. But again, so vital to the way this works.
I mean, the 5-3-2 can't operate without them two. It really can't. I mean, what do we have as an option if them two come out? Jack Harrison and James Justin. It's a different kettle of fish if them two are playing. Gabby, ran himself into the ground, didn't he? They were absolutely done. I think he just had tight calf at the end, which had basically just it was just cramp. It's funny with Gabby. He actually has this rare ability of being faster when he's dribbling with the ball than he does when he's without it. He just becomes turbocharged when he starts running with the ball. And I thought defensively we're really good today. It got done once by Tara, and that were it. And Tara's been one of the best attacking wingers in the division this season for large parts. So I think he showed himself in a really good light defensively as well. And Jaden had a far better game. But his second half, he was literally taking the piss at times, wasn't he? He turned it up a little bit today.
Yeah, he did. Glenn put here, I was worried Nonto and Aronson were redundant after we found the 5-3-2 system, but it's great to see him to be able to switch between these systems now. Yeah, let's talk about sub-impact Brendan and Nonto as well. Completely different profile coming onto the pitch, and again, they've had an impact. Brendan's buzzing around. He had that shot that kind of spooned off that Keller knocked out, and then Nonto with a pinpoint cross. And, all of a sudden, Jay, you have kind of options on the bench where you think, oh, actually, we can turn and do something and maybe change again. Whereas before it was, your wingers came off, more wingers came on, and it didn't feel like we had those options. So it's great to see, as Glenn says, that we might actually have a good option from the bench that can actually, impact the game.
Yeah, I do have a reservation that it will unfortunately dictate that we have to change formation, which might not be a problem. But there is times where staying within the 3-5-2 will be the right thing to do, but we've not got the players to bring on to change that. You could argue maybe Nonto could go and play up alongside Calvert-Lewin and be a little bit more flexible between the positions, so he becomes a full-scale free-role player that gets involved a little bit more creativity-wise in the creative build-up rather than Okafor, who's looking to be the goal scorer. Nonto could just float between the whole of the pitch really to get involved in wherever the ball goes. But other than bringing Brendan on in the centre midfield spot, where do you play him? Could you play him up front and do the same? I don't know. I don't know. I struggle to see how these players that we've got at the minute operate within this same system. Mecha for Okafor for Mecha makes sense. But then, I'm looking and I'm thinking, right, okay, should we? Tanaka's not played well today. Do we bring Gruev on? Well, no, because we want to win the game. So, you know what I mean? If you go 1-0 while Tanaka's on, then you can bring Gruev on and stay in the 5-3-2. But do you know what I mean? It just feels like we're a little bit restricted within that formation. And every time there's going to be a sub, I mean, I'm telling you, in 5 games' time, if we keep playing 3-5-2 every week, you're going to have fans going ballistic that every single time we need to make changes and make subs, we go to the 4-2-3-1. It's not going to be long before that happens. Every time Daniel Farke makes a sub, he brings on Brendan Aronson and Willian onto, and we go 4-2-3-1. That's what's going to happen because he hasn't got anything else to be able to change it. So restricted within options.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, someone like Piru as well. I mean, it's just as Michael said, Piru is not getting much of a look in. I mean, it feels with Piru. I mean, if maybe there's business to be done there, Jay, maybe you can get him out. I don't know, loan with a fee option or so. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it feels like something might have to happen there. Ideally, I guess.
Brown, the problem is his profile doesn't fit either way that we play.
No.
He fits as an option to bring off the bench when you're desperately looking for a goal with 5 minutes to go, and you say, look, go and play up alongside the striker as the number 10, right? But it doesn't fit anything, especially in this 5-3-2. I don't think he fits at all. Some fans will be like, oh yeah, put him alongside Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He won't be able to get in and around the ball quickly enough.
No.
The people don't think, they just think, oh, the second striker can play there, he'll get chances and he'll score. It wouldn't have even got onto the one that Okafor had in the first half. It wouldn't have gotten to either of them. So I just don't think he fits. He will fit another team at the top of the Championship, the real bottom end of the Premier League, where they'll build a system around him to get him into them positions. But it's just not us, and it's not this version of Daniel Farke now. And with the profiles and the players that we've got, it's not going to work. So I agree with you. I think if we could fetch 15 to 20 million for Piron, I think you'd probably be able to get it as well. I think you'd really be wise to move him on and reinvest in something that's going to change the levels of this team.
Well, you'd hope as well, wouldn't you, Jay, that there'll be teams out there looking to possibly take a punt. I mean, the Championship is. I mean, God, you got Millwall and Preston right up there. Coventry top of the league, Middlesbrough second. I mean, a team like Southampton, so they're desperate to try and roll the dice, get the last year's top scorer in. So yeah, you would hope there's some options there potentially as well. We've got to deal with it. The referee, Jay. I mean, let's look at the penalty decision. I mean, oh my goodness me, we're kind of. It's not cruise control, but we're so comfortable in the game, and we're attacking, we're having opportunities, and it definitely looks like it might fall in our favour. We're going to get a goal here. And then the softest penalty that you can imagine happens. And I mean, when it happened, I mean, obviously Brentford players are throwing their arms up, and it looked to me like the ref gave it based on that. I mean, he doesn't blow straight away, and then, Hendo is like going nuts. And the ref's like, oh, Henderson thinks it's a penalty, right, blow. I couldn't believe it. And when you watch it on the replay, Jay, I mean, you'd be giving penalties all day and all night if that's the level for a penalty.
It's a shocker, mate. For me, it's the worst. It's the worst decision I've seen this year. Certainly the worst decision I've seen in a Leeds game. And we got fortunate that it was offside, because I don't think it gets overruled, because that's just the way that VAR works. It's what I mean? It's one of them where it is clear and obvious, but it's not clear and obvious for the reasons that VAR would need to then overturn it. He doesn't even touch him. He just turns away. He's got his hand kind of brushly on his shoulder, and he just throws himself over. Yet then, and I don't think the referee's even seen it, mate. I think he turns, he's kind of following the ball, and he sees the end of it and just think, maybe it's a penalty. And it's like he was desperate to give it. And then no more than 2 minutes later, Pascal gets tugged exactly the. I think it was Pascal gets tugged exactly the same, no foul, and it wasn't a foul. There's no. But if you're gonna give that first one, you've got to then maintain that same level of consistency. And then the one in the second half that it doesn't give against Brentford on Calvert-Lewin is a disgrace in comparison. It is an absolute shock. I mean, it's a penalty. Yeah. It's an absolute stonewall penalty for me. Again, VAR should be getting involved and giving us that, but they don't.
The Leeds need to be a bit more animated. Are we not animated enough? I thought maybe the Leeds players should start throwing their arms up a little bit. We were very like, it's like, no, make a song and dance. You never know what might happen, especially a referee like that who seems to be able to be influenced.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoke about this for what seems to be like years. I remember us kind of having this debate before when we were coming out second best in decisions. Maybe I don't know. You shouldn't have to. The referee should just do the freaking job. Like they should just do the job that they're paid to do. I mean, he just had an absolute stinker today. It was decision after decision. It just. Again, the worst thing about a bad referee is the inconsistencies. Just stick to what you are setting out. If you're going to give a decision like that, as much as I know it's the wrong decision, I can handle it if you're going to then maintain that level of consistency. Like,
what's your threshold? They're changing that threshold through the game.
During the game.
Like, what's going on? Where does this fit in? Like, what's the plan here? I were raging, Jay. I thought if this is how we end up losing today or not getting something from the game from a penalty decision like that, honestly, I'm so glad it got overruled. An offside, thank God, because it would have been an absolute crime if that had been the decider today. Oh my God, honestly.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. It'd have been a different stream.
Yeah, it would. Honestly, it really would. In terms of where that leaves us at the moment, then, Jay. So that's a point. We're up to 16 points now, Jay. We're keeping up that points per game. We're on course for it. Question earlier, I should have started actually. Skip, how many points do you think 17th position will need to stay up? Skip saying 35. Jay, I mean, what do you say? I know a couple episodes ago you said, look, if you give me 38 points, which would be that points per game now, I'd bite your hand off. I mean, I think if you can do that points per game, you will be staying up, I would say. So, yeah, maybe around there, would you say?
It's funny, isn't it? Because the magic 40 was always the points total on it that people said in the Premier League. The difference is now is the top teams score a lot more points and the teams at the bottom score a bit less.
Yeah.
So you don't usually see or need anywhere near 40 actually to stay up. And I think over the last few seasons, it's been about 32, 33, I think, to finish 70. I mean, the last two seasons have been pretty comfortable on 32, 33. I think it will be higher than that this season because the teams at the bottom are well capable of getting shock results. We've seen that. The gap in the Premier League is a lot closer. So I have a feeling it will probably be in and around 35, 36, something like that. It's hard to say yet because we're not even at halfway, are we? We're nearly there, but we're not even at halfway yet. So, yeah, I think it's a hard one to say, but if I had to guess, I'd say 35, 36, which is why I'd be confident enough to just say, right, give us 38 and we'll take as chances. I'd gamble it at 38. I think that is a fair target to see us stay up. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, third game, Jay, where we've picked up points as well. I mean, how big does that feel? I mean, that's kind of what I was praying and hoping for going into this game. I was like, if we could just get another game where we take something from it. And, it's such a valuable point because we look at what's happened to West Ham today and, you thought, the unbelievable win they're going to get against Villa. And then Villa, they're just on fire at the minute. Unbelievable goal from Morgan Rogers wins it for them. Suddenly we've got a 3-point gap. We've got a healthier goal difference than them. And it's a great position to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, it breaks
what we need.
Yeah, well, it breaks the run of getting that losing mentality and feeling like we're just going to lose games. To not lose in 3 games in a row when you're in and around the bottom end of the table is a huge thing in Premier League football. Getting a point away from home is absolutely massive. We've now gone on the back of breaking this losing run up to beat a team like Chelsea, get a point against Liverpool, and then we've broken this terrible away record as well and gone away and got a point at a tough place in Brentford. It doesn't feel like it today because we totally outplayed them. But actually coming into this game, their form at home is exceptional. They're terrible away from home as well, but at home, they're absolutely brilliant. So I think it's a massive, massive point for us. And I hope it acts as a catalyst to now go and get a win away from home. I don't know whether that'll be the next time out. I forget we've got Palace at home, which I think is going to be really tough. And then
Sunderland, is it?
Sunderland away, which...
I think.
Yeah, it's that boxing.
You know what? I fancy is in that Sunderland away. I honestly, I really think because they'll have players away as well, won't they?
Yeah,
they'll have a few players away, won't they?
I think they're dead average, and I think they're massively overachieving. But they have got the wind in the sails. They have, yeah, and the stadium I like when it's bouncing, a bit similar to Ellen Road, is a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a fortress. So look, if we can go there again and get a point, I'd take it. I'd snap your hand off now. I'd take it. We want it, but Palace have lost 3-0 at home today. They're going to be wanting to make amends. That's not going to be an easy game. Palace are a bloody good side, so even at home. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. I love it, and this is what we're here for, innit? And these performances, the more they can continue, the more chance we have.
Exactly, and I mean, look, great point here. Michael says West Ham away to Man City next week as well, and obviously we've got Palace at home, and it's tantalising, isn't it, Jay? Because you just think if you could open that to 6 points to the to the bottom 3, how invaluable that would be. But like you say, Crystal Palace will be reeling, and I mean, they've been terrific, haven't they? Under Glasner, they'll be looking to bounce back 100%. Now, I do know that they've got a European tie in between. They're playing the Thursday, and then obviously they've got us on the Saturday. So hopefully that works in our favour as well. I think Glasner was speaking about it, actually saying he's going to have to rotate heavily and whatnot. So maybe things are just falling into place for us a little bit like that, Jay. And we've got nobody going away to AFCON as well.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to matter for Sunderland now. They're safe.
No,
unfortunately. No. I have always carried on kind of this notion that they would drop off. And they are going to lose a lot of good players. I think they lose something like 6 first-team players, which is going to be considerable for a month. But they've got enough in the tank. They just have now, unfortunately. It's a shame. It is a shame. But you know what? Good on them. Fair play to him. Noah Sadiqi, I thought, unfortunately, today was brilliant. The game wasn't great, but he's like Kante. He's like an N'Golo Kante.
I saw him linked with that lot, wasn't he, across the Pennines already, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, next summer that'll probably, and then that's when your troubles are trying to replace those players.
Yeah.
Some of the results as well. Obviously, we mentioned West Ham there, and West Ham in an interesting place now. They've not won in 5, and I think the assumption was Nuno was going in and it would automatically kind of pick up. It's not quite happened. They've just got problems, haven't they, West Ham, Jay?
Yeah, they've got problems within the ranks there. They've got problems within the ownership. There's a lot of unrest. The fans are not happy, and then they've got a lack of quality as well. I still think that they've got a little bit more dynamism than us, but they have got some real fragilities within there as well. I look at the team and I think, the likes of Potts starting and the back line a little bit shaky, and there is issues. Paqueta's a bit of a loose cannon who's arguably their best player. At least our best players are reliable. They're going to be on the pitch every week. They've not got whatever's going on with it in Paqueta's head sometimes.
Yeah, they're stable, aren't we?
Yeah, so they're in trouble. They are in trouble. I think Fulham are still going to be in around it. I know they got a great win away at Burnley, but they're not great. And I do think Brentford will be in and around it as well.
Yeah, just on Fulham, Harry Wilson, Jay. I mean, what is going on with this guy this season? I mean, he's having his own goal of the season tournament himself and assist of the season tournament himself. I mean, his numbers are incredible. The facts are, though, if you're Fulham, you can't let him go. Certainly not to a divisional rival, but at the same time, it's like he's going for a free next summer unless they get a deal organised. If somebody does come in with like a significant amount of money in January, I mean, what do you do?
The crazy thing is, Browney, he's probably playing himself into a massive move, which sounds mental, because Harry Wilson's always been a bit of a all right Premier League player, will do a job for you, and that's what we all thought when we were nearly signing him in the summer. You know, we all kind of said, "Oh, he won't revolutionise this whole team." I mean, we were wrong. Like, he would have made a serious. Me and you both said he would definitely improve us, but we didn't realise the season he was going to go on to have. And at the minute, like I say, he's probably talking himself or playing himself into a pretty big move. You can imagine somebody like Newcastle or Villa, you know, think, well, he's free. Don't sign a new contract. We'll give you a big signing on bonus, 3, 4, 5, 6 million quid that you would have cost us. Come, you know, bigger contract, 4-year deal. Come and sign for us. You know, homegrown nation as well, you know, in terms of like the registration quotas and all that kind of stuff. Like, so yeah, I mean, there's no way that he moves in January. I think he signs either a whopper contract with Fulham or he'll get a big move come the end of the summer, which is mental when you consider the fact that he weren't even wanted at Fulham on deadline day until about, I don't know, 3 hours before the window shut, and then everything changed. And yeah, it's a madness.
Yeah, absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. Elsewhere, Forest beating Spurs 3-0. I mean, geez, what's going on at Spurs? Thomas Frank. I mean, I don't know what that club does, but it kind of sets fires to managers' reputations in the matter of weeks. I mean, he's going to be struggling there, Frank, isn't he? But from a Forest perspective and relegation, I mean, Dyche doing Dyche things.
Yeah, I mean, Forest have got so much quality, haven't they? They just needed some stability. And they've got that now by the looks of it. I didn't ever really feel like Forest would go down, if I'm honest. No. I didn't, even even under Postecoglou. I did kind of think that it did sort it out. So, fair play to them. And when you're looking at the talents of the teams, you've just got to simply say, analyse it as best you can. West Ham, Fulham, Brentford. From what I've seen, they've not got that different level of quality that will see them a huge amount of distance away from where the bottom three sorts out. I don't think. I mean, Fulham right now are a one-man team with bloody Harry Wilson. It literally is carrying them on his back at the minute. Yeah.
It's mad. It's mad. We've got to mention here, shout out Town Talk coming up next. Huddersfield Town show on the
channel. Going down the cry. I'm sure he'll love that. For whatever reason, he wants us to mention Town Talk to a bunch of Leeds fans that are in a pretty jovial and happy mood tonight. And Downs is ready to just axe the manager whenever he gets opportunity. So yeah, go on, poke our friend Downs' belly a little bit with Town Jive. Why not?
Quick comments to round up before we finish up then, Jay from Farker. I have to praise the resilience, good cross and fantastic finish. Feels like they could have rewarded themselves with 3 points, but I'm happy with many things. We wanted to sub different players off to stay in the 3-5-2, but after Henderson's goal, we went man against man in 4-2-3-1. Thank God it was the right call. And Farker deeply unhappy with the referee's consistency. Can you believe it? Cannot understand why penalty was given without moment's thought, and then why it took so long to rule it out via offside. Then complaints about Dango's own block on Rodon late on in the Brentford box, which wasn't penalised. I think he's pretty spot on there, isn't he, really?
I didn't even see that, if I'm honest. So that's one that's probably gone unseen by the cameras, maybe, kind of thing. But it's spot on. And I'm really interested to see what he meant by that in terms of the change. What changes was he going to make to stay within the 3-5-2? But that's what I was saying. I mean, I didn't want to see the formation change because we're in control, but he sees the 4-2-3-1 as being the more creatively open formation. So,
yeah, interesting. It's going to be a fascinating January transfer window, I think, to see what we'll do there as well. Good stuff. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone who's watched along and got your comments in. If you've not done already, please do like the video. If you're watching again later as well, smash a like on it, get your comments in as well, and also subscribe to the channel. Myself and Jay, we will be back later in the week for our Thursday morning show as well, so please do check that out. Plus, we've got the Monday night round table tomorrow as well, so get tuned in for that. But for myself, Stephen Brown, thank you very much. Jay, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, mate.
And we will see you again later. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.